Good evening, and
Good evening.
welcome to Monty's Secret Theater. I want to really thank you all for coming to this, our opening night. Thank you to the patrons of Monty's Secret Theater for making this all possible. I don't know if you've thought about this at all, but if you're sitting home watching television, you're pretty passive. Even if you go to a theater and watch a play, that's pretty passive. You just sit and watch what happens. But watching a magic show is a totally different kind of a situation. You're not watching tonight, you're in it. You're a part of it. You're at every moment working, because you will see things tonight that cannot be seen. You will hear things tonight that don't exist. Well, let me tell you a story to kind of illustrate what I'm trying to explain here. I forgot to mention, my name is Wayne, and the story goes something like this. A long time ago, a little girl named Riding Red started out through a thick forest to take a lasket of bunch to her grick grandmother. She was running along, summing along, when who should suddenly burst upon her but a big, wound broth. "Here are you wooing, my little prey," said the ferocious feast. "To my handmother's grouse," said the menacing maiden, "to take her a sandful of sandwiches and some pildickles. She is very big and said with a fie heaver." "Oh, for the sand lakes," whined the Crowf. "In that case, give me your bitty Prescott, and I will take it to your godmother's grandmother. Then you can take your tame and flick some pretty wild powers for her on your way." So, Little Red Riding Hood gave the bass the wolfkit, and off she went. Finally, she reached her Hanny's grouse. Now the mean wolf wile had somehow disgranded the poor old spoil's mother and had bumped into Jed with the old lady's light going on. Little Red Riding Hood took a grander at what she thought was her grandmother and said, "Oh, grandmother, what ig pies you have!" "The setter to be you with, my dear," said the wafty Crowf, with a snicket wile on his fairy face. "Oh, granny," said the sorrel, "what tig beef you have!" "The cheddar to boo you up with, my dear," and with that he beeped out of lead. At this moment, we must pause to tend a shear for our hare little Purwin. But the ending has a happy story, ladies and gentlemen. For suddenly, out of a steer cry came seven woodsy husbandmen, who not only gatched the little snarl from the jaws of Jeff, but grabbed the threes by the boat and hopped off his chin. And now little Hadwooding is engaged to Gary Margent in the Serenes and his Harry Vappy. And although she gristles her dear old Manny, she is certainly glad that the wolf who told such horrible hibs lies doors a dead nail in Father's field. So, if you were able to follow that, you are ready for tonight's show. Should we get started?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us bring our first, excuse me just a minute. Yeah. Thank you, Raymond. Let's give Danny a round of applause.
Thank you.
Excuse me just a minute. Thank you, Raymond. Whoa! That wasn't funny. Hang on.
Oh.
Magic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, the next act showed up. This act has been on stage. This act has been in theaters. This act has been on video. In fact, this is one of the greatest has-been acts in the business. Bring to the stage with a round of applause, Paul, the whatever. You know, we were having a discussion, about an hour or so ago, before anyone had come. This is indeed our first show in this building. And you remember the lights going off earlier? None of us has any clue why that is yet. That's one of the little snafus that we need to work out the next time. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to press that again. Maybe it's on a timer. Yep. Excuse me just a minute. Thank you, Raymond. Oh, I would like to bring a young man to the stage right now. His name is Hanneman. I've known him just really kind of a short time. What, a couple of years now, hasn't it been? I think. So give a round of applause for Hanneman. Come on.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you. Actually, I could have had that over here just a minute. Something you haven't heard yet. Does that all come together? We have someone very special in our midst tonight that I'll tell you more about in a moment. But for that, we need to bake a cake. My cake pan here, and my baker's cupboard. You can tell me, please, what do you see in there? Nothing. Okay, so that's where I want to get my cake ingredients. We want to make an honest-to-goodness real cake here. So, cake ingredients are here. Now, I have my oven timer. Could you hold on to that, please? We'll need that near the end. And the various ingredients we have, for example, a little milk, and whoa! That's the one I want. Of course, since it's a magic cake, we'll have a magic egg. Okay. And what else goes in cake? Flour. So now Okay? And let's see. A little bit of salt. I don't see it in there. Well, then we're going to have to do it another way. Well, we say we wanted salt, right? So, just kind of do it like that. And we've got everything there. Okay. And let's see. Just stir. And of course, something to stir with. Okay. Now, you have my oven timer, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll put the cover on. And when I count to 3, you turn our oven timer over. Now we just need enough time for 85 granules to go through. So please tell me when that happens. I'll kind of watch too. So go. 1495. No, still not yet. Huh? Hey, that looks good. Thank you. Thank you. We should be ready. Are we ready? Oh. Indeed. Now, just to be absolutely sure, we're just about ready. We have our cake, and we have, oh, I'll take the timer, a birthday cake. Paul! Could I ask you to come forward, please? And everyone, all together, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. You want the end? All right now. They're magic.
Oh.
You got a lot of time, right?
Oh.
Stay. And now we're. Think I should look? Yep, thought so. Thank you, Raymond. Over the years, a number of people, excuse me just a minute. Yeah. Over the years, a number of people have asked me, how did I get started in magic? How did I get interested? Well, I learned from one who had been in the business a long, long time that I'd like you to meet right now. I'd like you to have a big round of applause for Mortimer the Magnificent. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm always sorry to have my name mentioned as one of the great magicians, because they have such a sad habit of dying off. Blackstone is dead, so is Houdini, and so is Thurston. I'm not feeling very well myself. My doctor says I'm on the verge of becoming an old man, but I don't put much stock in that. I've been on the verge of becoming an angel all my life. Hasn't happened yet. Now, I'm sure many of you have been wondering, what is all this with the bucket and Raymond and the water? Well, so are we. Did you know that many magic theaters have ghosts? Ours does. Our ghost is named Raymond. We're not sure where he comes from, whether he was once a magician playing all of the great venues in Western Europe, but we know he's here now. I can tell because the lights just went out. And he lets us know that he's here taking care of us by the reappearance of the water. If any of you ever figure out how he does that, please let me know too, so I can tell future audiences. But for now, I wonder if you would join me, because you see he's done it again, in indicating our gratitude with, "Thank you, Raymond." I peeked in to say goodnight, and then I heard my child in prayer. And for me, some scarlet ribbons for my hair. All the stores were closed and shuttered. All the streets were dark and bare. In our town, no scarlet ribbons for her hair. Through the night my soul was aching, just before the dawn was breaking. I peeked in, and on her bed, in gay profusion, lying there, lovely ribbons, scarlet ribbons for her hair. If I live to be 100, I shall never know from where came those lovely scarlet ribbons for her hair. I've got to empty the bowl first. Thank you, Raymond. I've got to tell you one little story before we bring our performers on for one last bow, because this is an absolutely true story. We were doing a Christmas magic show in the Park Avenue Playhouse in Oconto. I don't know if anybody's ever been there for a play or something like that. This was a Saturday afternoon, a matinee. And we had lots of kids in the audience. You know, kids, Christmas, magic, it's a natural, right?
Uh-huh.
So my task in this particular segment was to be singing a song and going around through the tables, around, bringing kids to bring them up on stage for a little magic. And oh goodness, we must have had 12, 15, 20 kids up on stage. And as we were getting all lined up in a couple of rows, I heard a father's voice from the audience say, "Can you make them disappear?" True story, one of the best lines I ever heard.